Hey everyone, I am back and I wanted to share with you some thoughts about profit versus popularity. I'm going to share some stories from my own business, but this past weekend I was actually speaking to a totally other group of entrepreneurs, not just from the jewelry world, but from across different crafting industries. And there was a really great mix of people who were had years of experience in their businesses and people who were fairly new. And one of the things that I kept noting is that the people who had really lasted in their businesses for over a decade all had focused on profit and had focused on systems in their businesses too, and had focused on everything from packaging to operations. But that profit kept coming up. And at no point did anybody bring up strategies to go viral, right? Because nobody was focused on popularity. They were focused on things like delivering a good product, delivering a consistent product, and delivering it with a good profit margin. And more importantly, the people with a lot of experience and longevity, keyword longevity, is that they knew their profit margins. They knew their profit margins at wholesale, they knew their profit margins at retail, and they honed in and they focused on it so much more than trying to go viral on social media. They focused on it so much more than even trying to be popular, right? They were in the zone of creating products that people really wanted, desirable products. They were honed in on knowing their audience, which is also super key, but they all understood their profit margin and really gave it a lot of respect and attention and focus, and did things that drove profit and sales in their businesses. And I remember that there was a time when I was personally chasing popularity. I was trying to go to the big trade shows in New York. I was trying to go that route with my business. And not only was I fully stressed out, but I was not paying myself. And so one year I shifted my strategy to do more e-commerce, to do more in-person shows. And I flipped that ratio of how much of my business was wholesale to how much of my business was retail. And the shift was only 10%. I went from 60% wholesale and 40% retail to the opposite, right? So I just shifted 10% from one, 10% to the other, for a total of 20% change. And I paid myself for the first time ever, not by doing what everybody else was doing for quote unquote success and popularity, but by honing in and focusing on profit and focusing on where my consumers were and showing up there. And I wanted to share that thought with you today.